Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in Lauderdale by the Sea, Florida. Lovely day out there. Looks like the sun's starting to kind of poke through a little bit, even though it is getting darker a little bit earlier every evening, it seems like. Let's move along to Friday's wrap up and talk about what's happening, what happened, and what might happen. I'm going to move straight to gold and silver prices because I got a lot of little things to talk about here. And yesterday, again, exactly what I thought was going to happen. Uh, and really, I won't say exactly what I thought was going to happen because we did show some dollar weakness today. And surprisingly, I said yesterday that I felt that unless the dollar was strong or weak, that metals would stay about the same, maybe go up a little bit. Well, they're about the same as they were yesterday. However, that is with dollar weakness. So I didn't really see any, the price of gold move up in that relationship to the dollar. However, it may have not been enough to really make a big difference here. And there seems to be a strange attitude out there, especially after the debates and everything. I think there's this kind of shock and awe and waiting to see what's happening here, particularly with markets going kind of crazy over, are we going to get a stimulus plan? Aren't we going to get a stimulus plan? But I'll move on to that in a little bit here. Let's take a look at silver prices, about the same ranges as yesterday too, and platinum. World spot price closed about the same as New York. And tough to say over the weekend what we're going to see. With dollar weakness, still looks like it's prevailing here. I suspect that on Monday that we'll see this $1,900 level, give or take a few bucks, and maybe a little bit higher. Maybe that dollar weakness will kick gold in the ass a little bit on Monday. We'll see. I don't anticipate any dollar strength right now for any particular reason. However, it pops up every now and then, and it knocks the hell out of gold a little bit, and silver and platinum. Silver, again, same thing, kind of just going to be following gold here, the big brother. Makes its wild kind of 50 cent and dollar moves. Love silver. I still think the upside of silver is way higher than gold. However, gold's a little more stable metal as far as, if you're going to trade on a daily basis, gold would be a little bit safer. Silver's just too erratic. And platinum, probably the same thing. Platinum is just such a slow mover. But look at this. Platinum up 20 bucks in the world market. Isn't that kind of a bit strange here? We got New York spot prices here, close at 879. Not much of a change from yesterday. None of the metals changed much yesterday, except for platinum. Now, what's up with that? Why did platinum take a $20? Not much news on platinum. A little bit harder for me to figure that out. So I'm not quite sure what happened, but it looks like platinum got a nice little bump here, $20 up at the world spot prices. Let's see what happens with platinum on Monday. I'd like to see it hang on to this $900 level. It needs to be. It deserves to be. It's just been so no one's paid attention to it. Poor platinum, undervalued and underloved. Anyways, I think that's really about it. Again, I think markets are kind of be sideways, and let's see if platinum holds on to this $900 level. That's kind of interesting. Here's kind of what Zero Hedge said. Love their headlines. Better headlines than Wall Street Journal, in my opinion. Stimulus, stalemate, sparks, slump in stocks, bonds, oil, and the dollar. So basically, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks now about stimulus talk and how, it seems the market is like run by some computer program that every time the computer program hears Pelosi or Trump speak online or something said, that the markets automatically, yes, there will be a stimulus. The markets go up. No, there won't be a stimulus. They go down. Kind of a strange parallel that it's following there. And not only is the dollar seems to be doing the same thing. The dollar seems to be following stocks and bonds and the other things. So, every time these people talk about stimulus, it seems that stocks, bonds, oil, and the dollar seem to go up or down. They seem to kind of be riding the dollar coattails as well. Just like gold has, as we've been talking about. Let's take a look here. And what was this report? Oh, I like by the way, Sprott does like a ETF kind of thing, except I trust them unlike SLV and GLD, which I don't really trust as far as buying ETFs online. That's just my opinion. I have my own reasons for that. You can read about it online if you look. However, Sprott has ETFs, and they back them what they call allocated accounts. So your name is physically on an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver that they own. unlike SLV and GLD, which are over leveraged, and people that have like what they think is an ounce of gold in GLD, really them and 100 people own that ounce of gold. They don't own shit but a piece of paper. That's just my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of other people way smarter than me as well. But anyway, the Sprott Report, I like Sprott. Again, if you have to own gold in some kind of online account, Sprott is the way to do it, even though they're a little more expensive to maintain it. I just trust them more. There's just a trust factor. And I think when it comes down to gold and silver, you got to have a trust factor. What does he talk about down here? I think lack of recognition, gold, ETFs, paper money. This is what I want to point out, because Sprott kind of talks about the same thing that we've been talking about. A time frame for a hypothetical 1 trillion inflow could range from a few years to a decade. And basically, he's talking about the same thing. On September 16th, Powell announced a new QE. Under the current program, the Fed will purchase $80 billion of U.S. Treasuries and $40 billion of mortgage-backed securities per month net. This will lead to a 21% increase in the Fed balance. So they're just printing. This is nothing good for the dollar, but it is good for precious metals. Not good for the country, but it is good for precious metals. So I'm not quite sure how to feel about that. Very good article. I recommend if you type in on your search engine Sprott Gold Report, Gold the Simple Math. I think that they do updates on this, and they also have a great report on silver done by Maria Smirnova. And here it is, The Silver Lining by Sprott. Again, Sprott also does an online ETF that I trust. I like these people. I trust them. Unlike SLV, I don't really trust SLV. That's just my opinion again. But if you have to own stuff online, I like these people. And again, I believe they're very, very intelligent, and they know their market. They write these little articles about it. And I put it on your save list, by the way. Because again, the point of these videos that I'm giving you is not to read them for you and read out excerpts and read out little pieces that I put together. The point of me showing you these things is so you can read them yourself. Start learning about this stuff. Start making your own opinions. Ultimately, that's what I'd like to see you do, because I think that's the way you're going to profit the most, is by using your own opinions. And of course, using advice from experts is very handy as well. And I'm happy to give you my advice all the time. Let's read what it says right here real quick. And again, I recommend you read this yourself. It's called The Silver Lining, Sprott Silver Report. Just do a Google search on it, or as I like to use, DuckDuckGo, because they don't spy on you. Silver demand reaches 3-year high, which is true. And this was kind of interesting. The demand growth was coupled with a 2.7% decline in supply. The primary demand driver was notable recovery in retail investment led by silver bar demand. At the same time, both silver mine supply and scrap supply retreated dramatically. Well, we're big scrap silver people. We buy a lot of scrap from a lot of the dealers and a lot of the pawn shops and jewelers. And so we do a lot of scrap silver here. And we work with one of the largest refiners in the country. And I can tell you that, yeah, absolutely, scrap supply on silver has definitely come down dramatically. And it says right here, which resulted in a 29 million ounce shortfall in the physical market. Well, what she points out is brilliant, and again, something we talk about all the time. The silver market has registered a physical deficit in 6 out of the past 10 years, which means that we are using more silver, and more silver is being invested and bought, but it's not being created and put back in the market. However, the silver price doesn't reflect that. You know why? Because of excuse my language, because of ETFs and because of commodity changes. Anyway, she talks about this here. This signals us that the silver price has fallen victim to silver paper market trading, and that's exactly what it's done. When an ETF like SLV can sell you and tell you that, oh, here, buy a share of SLV at $25. It's like an ounce. They're inferring that. But meanwhile, they don't have an ounce of silver to cover that. They do, but you and 100 other guys probably own it. So what does that mean? That means that they created a fake 100 ounces out of 1 ounce. So the market is there's so much fake silver out there, so much fake paper silver, and really it's a matter of the tail wagging the dog. That's what it is. And the dog is physical silver. It's bars and coins. The tail is the paper market. And for some reason, the tail is wagging the dog. But that won't last long when the shit hits the fan. COMEX will probably go belly up. So will a lot of these bullion banks and stuff and these exchanges. because again, they're leveraged and they don't hold the metal. Anyway, the paper silver market most often refers to the silver futures market, which gives exposure to silver price without providing ownership of metals. More or less, she's talking about the futures market, which doesn't have the silver that they are supposed to have. Supposedly, I guess they make the rules and they don't have to really hold it. So what that means is that they sell, 1,000,000 ounces of silver. Do they have it on hand? No. So what it really is just imaginary stuff they sell, and that's what I'm talking about. How paper prices are dictating physical prices, and they have been for many, many, many years. But at some point, that's going to turn around, and paper prices are going to collapse, and physical prices are going to fly through the roof. Let's move, and again, that's my opinion. Good article, highly recommend reading it. Let's move along to the next article here. Giving you some decent technical stuff here too, folks, and make sure you look these articles up and read them yourself. This basically talks about the U.S. election as a vote for gold. America's 2020 prediction. Presidential election will be like no other. Kind of goes into the politics leading up to it. This I did not know. Gold tends to rally leading up to the U.S. election before trading lower through the presidential inauguration in January. Well, let's see if that tends to happen this year. I'm kind of not thinking that's going to happen. We're looking at whole different times than we have in the past. Things aren't the same like they used to be. And I think if you expect outcomes that you would have expected in the past in these current times, you could get hammered pretty hard or be wrong, quite wrong. Anyway, good article again. Like these guys, and they do a lot of technical stuff here I'm not going to get into. Oh, here, silver, since we're there. Silver, slimming silver, thrifting of silver loading in solar cells is an ongoing headwind for silver demand, which means that if solar cells aren't selling well, the industrial demand for silver is not picked up. Kind of the opposite of what we were just reading in the other article, though, if you notice, with Sprott Silver. And here they talk about a new silver contact application process has been reported to reduce silver composition by a fifth. Well, a fifth is not that much, but it's still enough when you're talking millions of ounces. Photovoltaic demand accounts for 100 million ounces of silver per year. Wow, that's a lot, folks. And we were just reading the Sprott article where she was talking about mining and secondary metals is down. So that's offsetting this. That's going to offset quite a bit this use of metal, and it's going to create more scarcity in physical metals itself, in my opinion. This year, the silver price hit a 7-year high and rallied 141% from the low in March. Didn't quite put a number on that, but how's that for a return in less than a year? 141%. Holy crap. Well, I'm really proud of silver. But again, volatile metal, crazy. And I still think it has plenty of upside. Good articles. Recommend reading this too if you want to do a search on it on your search engine. Here's something I talked about a while ago. I've been watching this court hearing thing, and I have a feeling that London has got the Bank of England has got big issues with gold, I think. There's been some talk and some rumor and some innuendos and some conspiracies that they basically don't have the gold. They've leased out all the gold that they have, and the gold that they do have is owned by multiple parties. Kind of what we were just talking about, ETFs. And Venezuela asked for their gold back, and I guess it's partly political, but it was strange that Bank of England just said, no, we're not giving it to you. We don't think you're a legitimate government. And really, they had no legal grounds to do that. They just kind of made it up, which made me think that Venezuela just... Remember when Libya asked for their gold back? What happened to Gaddafi? He got a knife up his bum. Pardon me, but it's true. It's true. Gaddafi was okay, and there was no issues with him until he decided that he was going to create an African continent gold-backed currency, and he asked for his gold back from the United States and other countries to return their gold. All of a sudden, after he asked for his gold back, the man was hunted down and murdered, more or less. And he was not a good person, so maybe he got what he deserved, but still, very odd. And I guess he never got his gold back, but who did? Who kept the gold from Libya? You ever ask yourself that? The central banks kept it? Bit suspicious, wouldn't you say? Let's move along. It's the same thing I'm talking about with Venezuela right here. Maduro government wins UK appeal over Venezuela gold, which means that the Bank of England says, F you, Maduro, F you, Venezuela. We know that you legally own this gold, but we're not giving back to you because we don't think you did a fair election. That's our opinion. but they had no legal groundings, and the courts reflected that. I'm curious to see, and this is October 5th when this was updated, that the courts ruled against the Bank of England and said, you need to return Venezuela's gold. However, like I said with Libya, let's see if that gold actually makes it back. It's about a $1 billion worth of gold, man. That's not quite a bit of gold. And if I would bet $1 to a donut that gold, it might be in the vaults in the Bank of England. However, it's probably been leased out and more than one person owns it, and that this could be a big deal or a bankruptcy deal if they actually physically had to return it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But also they're all very, very suspicious right now. And like I said, let's see if Bank of England can test this, which they probably will. And let's see if Maduro gets back his goal without getting a knife shoved up his bum. So, that's kind of weird. Pretty creepy too. Anyways, move along here. Pension funds start to look to gold to avert disasters. I found this very interesting because it's part of the market I'm not really aware of. The Federal Reserve has effectively declared war on savers. We've talked about this by vowing to hold short-term interest rates near zero. So basically, there's no such thing as saving money anymore. You just lose money if you try to save it. That's why people are searching anywhere for a couple percent return, a 2% return, a 3% return. That's why the stock market looks so sexy, because it's offering returns. That's why, and they can borrow cheap money to put it in there. And here you go again. This is what it says here. An ultra-low rate environment is survivable for investors only so long as the rates keep falling, thereby generating capital gains on bond holdings. So that's kind of what we got going on here. And here's what interests me the most. How can pension funds obtain protection from this threat? Well, they can own gold. I kind of knew that, but I didn't know how it worked, and I didn't realize this. Last week, Ohio's $16 billion police and fire pension fund approved a 5% allocation to monetary metal, which I suspect means gold. $16 billion, that's quite a bit. 5% allocation, okay? So 5% of allocation, whatever that comes out to. It's still a tidy sum. Hold on. It would be $750 million, it sounds like. Wow, that's quite a bit of gold. I think 5% allocation. Ohio will join Texas through its Texas Teachers Retirement System, having the only known public pension program that holds precious metals. Think about that. Texas did this a little while ago, the teachers program, and they got to be loving it, man. They bought gold probably $1,200-1,300 an ounce. Where are they sitting right now? That's great. And each fund appears to be targeting about $1 billion in gold and holdings. Well, this is epic for the gold community and for the prices of gold, because if $1 billion, Venezuela wants $1 billion worth of their gold back. And look, you've got entire unions and police and fire pension funds investing in precious metals now and considering it and getting into it. Here's an interesting thing. Wyoming, for example, considered and rejected the idea earlier for their pension funds when gold was trading at $1,300. Well, I bet they're kicking themselves in the ass right now because they just lost a shit ton of money on $500 million worth of gold or whatever they would have put into it. That's a lot of money. Anyways, cool article. I liked it. Suggest you read it. Gold, Silver Worlds, the truth about our money. The first article I've ever read from them. I don't know if the rest of them are good, but pension funds start looking to gold for avert disaster. In fact, Google search just put in pension funds and gold, and you should get a lot of different articles talking about pension funds putting money into gold. And this is a good, like the dollar getting trashed, which I don't feel comfortable about, but there's nothing I can do about it or you. We're just protecting our money. It's good for gold. And so are things like this, pension funds looking to get into gold. Man, that's huge for us. So I think good things are ahead. Well, let's move along to the best deal in town. Of course, I'm always going to tell you what the best deal on right now, the best deal in gold and silver. Silver in smaller increments and gold in 1 ounce increments. The best deal out there, and again, we only deal local, so if you're watching the show outside of Broward County, you can't physically walk into our store, which we're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. If you can't come into our store physically, we don't really deal in the mail. We don't deal online, so I do apologize. However, this is going to be helpful to you too, because you can watch this and know what to ask your local dealer. And if you don't have a good local dealer, give me a call. I know a lot of guys all over the country. I'll try to point you in one that I do know. But anyway, best deal of the day. here, and I think all over the country, is, drum roll please, 90% U.S. silver coin still wins, and there's my 90% silver coins. Dimes, quarters, and halves made by the U.S. Mint, the same mint. I know they're ugly, and people, people go, oh man, that's just ugly, ugly stuff, and stackers probably hate them because, I don't know, they stack, but they're not pretty to look at. However, it's all about the money, folks. It's all about who cares how pretty it is, who cares how well it stacks. It's all about buying as much silver as you can, getting the most bang for your buck. And 90% U.S. silver coin, besides the fact that it's sales tax free in any amount in Florida, it is the cheapest buy in silver. And again, people say it's ugly, but think about this. It's made by the same people that make the U.S. Silver Eagle. The U.S. Mint makes a Silver Eagle, and they make this stuff and made this stuff. So the silver is impeccable. It's great stuff, and it's made by the same people that make the U.S. Silver Eagle, and you can buy it for, man, a fraction of the cost of what you can most of the other, as far as premiums go. So it is the best deal out there without a doubt. Give me a call or come by if you want to know what the other better deals are above this. Happy to help you out. Oh, there, I got two pictures of that. Let's see. Let's move along from 90% U.S. silver coin. Oh, by the way, they call this constitutional silver too. I guess there's a reason behind that, because it was constitutional at one time. All money should be coined by Congress and only should be in gold and silver. Therefore, that would be constitutional silver. And the nice thing about this stuff too is, in like most silver products, you buy a 1 ounce. If you try to buy a half-ounce silver product and a quarter-ounce silver product, it's expensive, man. The premiums are too high because it costs the same to strike a quarter-ounce and a 10th-ounce coin as it does a 1 ounce coin. Other than the metal, it costs the same in production. So the premiums on smaller pieces are always much higher. But the nice thing about 90% is you can buy something as small as a dime like this that has 0.72 ounces of silver in it. Not quite an ounce. That's the only problem with this stuff, is it's a little bit harder to figure, but you can buy this in 0.72 increments. I mean, that's cool. And you're not paying a damn premium for it. What's best price in gold out there? It's still the damn Krugerrand, the oldest, maybe not the oldest, but one of the oldest 1 ounce traded gold coins in the whole world. I can say that. They were the first ones to come out with a solid 1 ounce pure gold coin, or has 1 ounce of pure gold in it. Remember, they're 21.6 karat, but they weigh more than an ounce. So they've been around since the 1960s, the oldest. They've made millions and millions and millions and millions of these things. Best deal out there, cheaper than the Philharmonics. Maybe not cheaper than bars, but it's hard to find bars right now because a lot of the mints have been closed. It's cheaper than the Eagle, way cheaper than the Eagle. Eagles are ridiculously priced. It's cheaper than the Buffalo, Gold Buffalo. It's cheaper than the Maple Leaf. And it's cheaper than a lot of other products. So Krugerrands are the best deal out there in my store as far as buying coins, and all around the country. So if you go to your local dealer, wherever you are, ask for US 90% right now or Krugerrands. Those are the best deals out there. Anyway, this is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in Lauderdale by the Sea. Hey, something cool. I added YouTube videos to the front of our webpage. So when you go to look for us here, we've added videos and a playlist. And it's kind of pretty cool. And then we talk about our services down here, and some fun facts about us. I'm not proud of counting 1.6 million pennies. I'm not even sure where he got that from, but I think it's more like 1.6 billion pennies I've counted in my lifetime, because we're also coin dealers, don't forget. Anyways, favorite coin year, 1793. Well, here, I know this is true. In-store appraisal fees are 0. So, verbal appraisals, I should say. Well, anyway, again, this is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in Lauderdale by the Sea. We're open Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please call us anytime at 954-493-8811. Feel free to ask us for what live spot prices are. We keep live spot prices up on the screen in our store. So when you're in there buying from us, you can actually see the spot prices on the wall. We have them there flashing all the time, so you can keep updated. And ask us what the best product of the day is. Just because I said Krugerrands are cheapest today and 90% is the cheapest today, doesn't mean that that'll be true on Monday. Sometimes these product premiums and discounts change all the time. So never hesitate to ask us what the best deal of gold and silver is. We'll always tell you, because we're working on a flat rate per ounce on all this stuff. So we would, of course, rather steer you to a product that you can get more bang for your buck. Hey, thanks for watching. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and looking forward to talking to you on Monday. Let's see what happens then. Good night.